We do have one of our other awesome teacher creatures here. This is Khia. She's a common snapping turtle, and she does look a little weird. She was kept as a pet, and which is not recommended, and she was given improper nutrition leading to shell deformities and actually stunted growth. So she did go see one of our local vets here that specializes in reptiles, and she is not suitable for life in the wild, and so now she lives with us. So she's a great teacher. She's also very friendly because she's been around people for a while, so a friendly snapping turtle is not great for life in the wild, so that's why she's with us. But she's also, again, a great educator, teaches us to leave wildlife wild, but this is also a species that you'll found in or near the Copper River watershed as well. And really, we see two different types of snapping turtles. We see our common snapping turtles and our alligator snapping turtles. You'll see our alligator snapping turtles in a lot of our stream and river systems. These guys like more of our ponds, but again, you'll still see them all in that same watershed, which is very cool too. And on this side, we have the Cahaba River map that shows where the Cahaba River is, talks a little bit about the river itself, and again, just a great representation here, and Oak Mountain's very lucky to be in that watershed. Another animal that's found in this area, it's very common, and you see them a lot in the central Alabama area, is this eastern box turtle. This is Alice. She's one of our older animals here. We estimate she's about 60 years old, and so for a turtle, that's a great, or for a box turtle, that's a great age. They can live usually on average between 50 and 100, but 100 is kind of pushing it for a box turtle, but she's a great educator as well. She was actually attacked by a dog and has a couple of holes in her shell on the bottom, and so the people that found her, again, kept her as a pet and had her for many, many years, but again, being a box turtle, these guys have an incredible sense of where their home is, and so if she were to be released wherever she was kept, she would always spend her life trying to find her way back home, and we don't know where she came from originally. So, and the owners weren't sure either, that I think she had passed a few hands. And so, but eastern box turtles are called box turtles because they box up like a box. They close themselves up completely. So they have what's called the hinged plastron. So not all of our turtles have that, but our box turtles do. So a way to protect themselves from predators is they will close up that hinge, close up their body, tuck in their arms, their head, their tail, and be completely closed up, and then helps them keep them to be nice and safe against a predator. They also sometimes will sleep that way to keep themselves nice and safe. But again, box turtles are found all over Alabama. Not as much as they used to be. They are on the decline because of the pet trade, illegal hunting of them for food purposes for some people. I would not eat one personally, but some people might be into that. But these guys are a wonderful indicator as well of your habitat being nice and healthy. They are opportunistic hunters and eaters, so they're going to eat anything from vegetables to fruit to vegetation to carrion, or dead animals on the side of the road. They eat bugs, they eat mice, anything like that. You see that a lot of times they're eating roadkill. So, what are you looking at?
She wants to walk.
She wants to walk on the ground. So, again, very cool animal. She is an old girl. They do shed their skins.
Yeah,
see some little skin sticking out here. They do shed their skin just like a snake does, just like humans do. Humans shed your skin in here too. So, very cool animals.
My favorite fact about Alice here is that all of our turtles here do have a favorite food. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, bugs and worms are the favorite because that's like chicken nuggets for us. But she actually went on hunger strike because I ran out of banana for 2 weeks, and I didn't realize it was banana. And then when I gave it to her, she pushed all of her roommates out of the way. This girl loves her banana. It's pretty funny.
Oh,
yeah. So we always have some on hand. She had some yesterday. She still has some dried on her face.
Banana's the best. You talk about male and female differences?
Oh, yes. Yes. So one of the most common questions we get with any of our animals, honestly, is how do we know it's male or female? So there's a couple ways to tell with box turtles. One is their tails. So you want me to bring her a little closer for y'all? Mm-hmm. So one is their tails. So females will have kind of short little stubby tails. I'll compare it to more of a thumb, while our males will have long skinny tails, very similar to a pinky. Another way we can tell is the bottom of their shell. That is called the plastron. So our females will be flat on the bottom, while our males will be concave. The plastron will kind of go in a little bit. So we know for sure she is a female because she has laid an egg. So so we know for sure she's a female, but we knew with her short tail and her flat plastron as well that she is our female. Mm-hmm.
Erin, can you age them by looking at the shell, or is that just a myth?
There is a couple ways that you can age. Oh, I want to get your skin. I just want to pick at it. So a couple ways you can age a turtle. One is their size. If they're fully grown, that tells you we have an adult, that they're not young. Another way with box turtles is they actually lose a lot of their color as they age. So you see Alice has practically lost all of her color. She's pretty much that darkish brown black on her shell. But another way you can age any turtle is if you focus on one section of their shell, that's called a scute. You'll see all these little ridges. Now, if you have a lot of patience, you could sit down and count all of those little ridges because their shells are a part of them. They grow with their shell. So when you actually pet them, their shells are the same, made out of the same stuff as our fingernail. So if you scratch your fingernail, that is what it feels like to them. So those scutes, that can be a good estimation. It's not going to give you an exact age because they could have a year where maybe we had a drought, they didn't get a lot of food, so maybe they didn't grow. Or they could have a year where we just got all the rain, all the food, and maybe they accumulated a couple rings. So with her size, her color, knowing her history, and those rings, we've estimated that she's between 50 and 60 years old, which is very old, but you look great. And of course, when they are in captivity here, their lifespan is doubled because they're getting free food, free housing, and free health care. So she does tend to get infections in her left eye and in her cloaca that we treat. And of course, her food is handed to her, and she doesn't have to worry about any competition besides her big roommate. But don't worry, I make sure she gets fed. And so she is going to live a long, happy life here with us. It's a good lady. And what's really funny about her is that she has red eyes, because usually only males have red eyes. So it's a little unique that she has red eyes, because usually females usually have brownish eyes. So it's very unique that she has those red eyes. So that shows how special she is.
In the wild, how often do they eat?
They eat, how often would you say they eat?
Again, they're very opportunistic, so
Yeah.
they're not gonna, they just kind of graze as they go. So as soon as they see something, they're gonna grab a hold of it. And then, of course, in the winter time, there's not a whole lot of vegetation, not a whole lot out there, so they're gonna go into what we call a brewmation. So it's not a full hibernation, but they're going to go into a state where their metabolism slows, their heart rate slows, everything kind of slows down, where they can kind of maintain for a couple of months while it's really cold. So then in the spring and summertime, as vegetation, grasses start growing again, and fruits and veggies and anything like that, bugs, all kinds of stuff start showing up, they're going to go hunt, and again, as they come across it, they're going to grab a hold of it and eat it. So throughout the day, maybe every other day or so, maybe once a week, it just depends on what's out there and what's available.
Here in captivity, we offer them food every day. We make sure they have fresh food every day. Now, they don't eat it every day, but we make sure that they always have access to it, so they will never be hungry, pretty much. Help our friends cross the road.
Yeah.
I can have her walk a little bit if you want her to be a little example.
Sure, yeah.
There you go. She'll be very happy about it.
Okay, let me put this down.
So she may walk a little bit, but she's not our fastest turtle, so I'll make sure she stays in this range for you.
Okay, all right. We're going.
You good? Awesome, sweet. So a question we get a lot with our turtle friends is, what do I do if I see a turtle crossing the road? Now, we have one golden rule that we make sure to instill, is that to never risk your own safety for a turtle. So if it is a safe environment for you to get out and help our turtle, when you get out, if they are moving well, if they are crossing that street with a lot of energy, you can just pretend they're like a Canada goose and kind of just guard them as they cross. Now, if our turtle is like Alice here and is kind of just hanging out in the middle of the road, maybe in the middle of US 31, and that's not the safest spot for them, what we do is you can pick them up. Now, I like to say you can pick them up like an upside down hamburger. So as long as you are holding and supporting both parts of their shell, you can pick them up. Now, if you have a turtle, say a snapping turtle, or maybe an aquatic turtle, you may want to hold them a little more towards the back. They're a little more flexible than our box turtle friends. Now, when you are helping them cross, you want to take them in the direction they're going, because if you put them on the other side here, they're going to turn around and go right back across the street. Now, I'll own up to it. I've done it before. I've seen a turtle crossing the road, and I thought, hey, I have a really awesome pond across the street. That's a way better habitat than this parking lot. Now, these guys have a 1 mile territory that they have a mental map of, which I believe we went into a little bit earlier. And if they are taken out of that territory, they will spend the rest of their lives, if they have to find it. So even if you see a box turtle crossing the Galleria parking lot towards a Dave & Buster's, that's home to them. Just help them get over there safely. And our turtle friends, thank you for helping them cross the road.
That's interesting. I think everybody who picks up a turtle lifts it up by the shell,
by this.
edge.
And
Mhm.
so that can
Including
hurt
myself.
them, so it is important to support both parts of them.
That's
Now,
really good to know.
with snapping turtles, since they don't have much of a plastron, they are extremely flexible and can reach back to get you. So I'll kind of model it with Alice here. So with snapping turtles, you can hold them right here on the back, since they don't have much of a plastron. But for our friends like box turtles, yeah, you want to make sure you support both sides of their shell. Here you go. Here you go. You want to show us crossing the road? There you go, girl. She is doing great. Look at her go. Love that turtle. She's coming for you, Lauren.
Hurry up, I don't have all day, turtle.
She's an incredible educator.
She does a great job.
Really great educator.
Hey, baby girl.
If it tells you how opportunistic our box turtles are, is when she did lay that egg, she turned around and went, "Oh, sweet food," and she crushed it and ate it. So, as I joke, motherhood's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I've had people go, "Didn't you realize like that was her egg?" And I'm like, she was hungry apparently.
She did not care.
She didn't care. Bye, Alice.